Hey guys, Sky2 Quality back with the FPV kitchen. So this is where we mod out things amateur style. And so what we're looking at is the Iflight XL, was it the XL10 V6? Last time it had the analog parts in it. And now it is fully converted to the digital DJI O3 air unit system with diversity. So I'm gonna go through very generally how I switched everything out. It's just more of an explanation video. If you're this far into building something and doing the mods and something this big, you should know how to basically do most of what I'm showing you. I'm just gonna go through my process. So basically take what works for you and just discard the rest. So it's gonna be kind of a hokey-ish kind of thing put together, but it should help and guide you as to what I did and what you can do to do this even better yourselves. So no use on buying, in my opinion, bind and fly with an O3 air unit, because you hear the buzz that's going on with DJI not warranting the companies that actually do the bind and fly. So better off, in my opinion, get rid of the headache, get yourself an analog or anything, and just put your own Air3 unit in it. But anyway, grab popcorn or a blanket, whatever suits you, and we're just gonna go through the process. And yeah, we do the test flight sometime this weekend. All right guys, that's what I have for you now. Enjoy the lesson that I learned, and hopefully you'll learn something too. Hey guys, Sky2 Quality here with the Iflight XL10 V6. As I stated before, what I'm just going to do is remove the camera, the analog camera, and the VTX, which I already removed, and it is right here. It was back here. So now I'm gonna put the O3 air unit in it. So I'm gonna let you guys know what I'm doing in advance. I plan on conformal coating this quad because it will be flying over water if I do a little bit of long range anywhere. And I'm using the acrylic instead of the silicone because the acrylic for me has been far more water resistant. But the difficulty is, or the challenge is trying to solder after you already have this acrylic conformal coating on. We need to make sure that we have all of our components that we want already soldered to the flight controller prior to putting on this acrylic. Otherwise, when you try to change something out, it becomes difficult to, in my experience, solder through the acrylic, even with 450-degree temperature soldering. With the Iflight XL10, like I said before, it looks like it already has dampening, so it's gonna be fine for the O3 air unit. However, the cord, or the coax cable, was far too short. It wasn't gonna reach the back and the O3 air unit, so on Pyrodrone I bought an extended 200mm braided cord, so that will fit when I put the air unit in the back. And I'm gonna have to fit the actual cable underneath the flight controller, which is not a big deal because I'm gonna take the flight controller off anyway to conformal coat it and have it go through the back. And I'm also going to remove the dual polarization antenna and go with 2 left-hand circular long antennas for long range. And to get it in the back, I'm probably gonna have to drill a hole in the back. I didn't see any mods for in Thingiverse for dual antennas in the back, so I'll probably have to wind up drilling holes and having both of them come out the back. So that's what we're gonna do right now. I'm gonna try those mods. That's what I'm gonna try to accomplish. I would do it on screen, but yeah, you don't need to hear that much cursing online. So anyway, we will see the end result in just a bit. Well, something else to let you guys know, these plugs, where they go to if you're using a different setup other than the analog VTX. This plug already came, oops, sorry, it's this one. This one's already gonna come off the drone from Iflight, and this is for your receiver. I will be connecting, where are you? Here we go. I'll be connecting this ELRS, was it the Boxer Radio Master Diversity? So it's gonna connect to this cable. Now this cable here is fished through and on the other side, actually was connected to the older analog VTX, but this is what you will connect the wiring to for your DJI air unit. And this air unit came off of my shocker, so I'm gonna change it. So remember, this further one out here, now this is for the receiver in the center, and the one further out is for your DJI air unit or Vista, whatever you decide to choose. All right guys, it looks like the O3 air unit is going to fit perfectly in the back of the Iflight XL10 V6. The screws that you'll probably need if you don't have them, these are for the DJI O3 air unit. Go on Amazon or someplace and look for M1.6 by 14 millimeter screws. Those are the screws you're gonna want, okay? Another thing I like to do, guys, is I like to take photos of the wires that I'm gonna disconnect before I do my conformal coating, so that I know where to put them in case I forget. And just to point this out, I really like, see that cable right there? I don't know if you can see it. It says K-02. That is their GPS cable for the M10 GPS. I like the way that they've rated it and shielded it, so we should get a lot of GPS lock really fast. Another thing I like to do or use when I'm conformal coating is a black light. You can also get these on Amazon too, really cheap, maybe $10. And what you're gonna want to do is conformal coat the heck out of it, the flight controller and ESC, and in the end, you will be able to see with a black light if you have any leaks, if you've missed anything, because it's gonna glow. The whole thing's gonna glow. So you should have no points that are not glowing when you're finished. All right, so get a black light. All right guys, a challenging part of this process is gonna be the bottom part, the ESC, to actually conformal coat, because it's already connected. So I released the screws as much as I could in the bottom, and I just had to take the brush with the conformal coating and just get it in there. All of these conformal coatings come with a brush. I don't want to spill this darn thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna take a chance. But you would go ahead and get that in there as deep as you can and get as much as you can in there. And I'm not gonna turn this drone on, connect it to any type of power for a good 8 to 15 hours at least. But with the black light, you can see if you've missed anything. So you can see pretty good over there. No water is gonna get inside. And if it does, we're pretty covered, we're safe. And this also helps with dirt too. All right, so we'll continue on. And just so you know how black light is useful, if you wanna make sure you're completely covering your drone, the board, there are some areas that I haven't. You see the parts where the actual silicone or the conformal coating is not covered. So you wanna make sure everything that you want covered is covered, and the black light is going to show you if it is. All right guys, so I missed some spots over here. I'll go ahead and clean that up. But yeah, almost done. And then we're gonna wire, or get the wire harness for the O3 air unit, put it underneath while the ESC is still lifted, and connect that to the O3 air unit. All right, guys, just remember, this is also just stuff that I do, that I've learned over the years from other professionals in the hobby. Not everything is gospel. And so some people are gonna tell you, or you'll probably even tell me, some people, oh, you don't need to conformal coat your quad. I don't do that. Mr. Steele doesn't do that. Mads Tech, whatever. You know, what works for you in your use case scenario is what is right. There is no wrong, really, in a lot of situations. Okay, the point of this hobby is you learn a lot and you use what works for you. For conformal coating works for me. I live in sunny California and it gets up to 110, 115 degrees. And I have a NAZGUL 5V1, and my personal experience with my conformal coating, that has helped protect that thing, the components on it, and I've transferred it to a Banggood build, and that is like my indestructible build. To this day, when everything else new that's supposed to be hot and hyped fails, that NAZGUL 5V1 is my go-to. It's indestructible. So what works for you figure it out, just listen to others, and take the stuff that is beneficial for you. That's the whole process of this hobby and in life in general. You learn, you take information, but not everybody, even if they're professional, even if they're the best person in that field, doesn't mean they know everything. I definitely don't know everything. Mr. Steele doesn't know everything. He makes mistakes too. He's a great guy, you know, and same with Bardwell. You have to learn the best things that works for you. And that is the right answer for most of your use case scenario. And just as I thought in the beginning, the camera holder is rubber. So we're gonna have perfect dampening when we put the O3 air unit in. And guys, this is my O3 air unit that came from the Shocker 4-inch. And as you can see, it's scratched to heck. That is true what they say, that these lenses do scratch very easy, so it's very important. From the beginning, even if you have a ND filter that has no color, you know, it's not rated, or even polarization, put something on it so that you have protection on your camera, because these scratches will come easy even if you're just flying, and don't even crash into anything. All right, so let's carry on. Now that the Iflight XL10 has been sitting for 8 hours, it is time to plug it in. And what I always do, and I recommend, which works best for me, is I use a smoke stopper the very first time, and a couple of times until I feel comfortable adding power to the unit. Even though this was already done before me, I want to make sure the changes that I made work and that I don't burn out this air unit. So right now we want to make sure that this O3 air unit is actually working and I am getting telemetry. So this is the first time plugging it in. Let's see what happens. And if it doesn't work, if there's a problem, then I won't get all 4 beeps. Oh yeah, beautiful sign. No smell of that electronic smoke when you fried something because you did it wrong. Really critical to have a smoke stopper in at all times. All right, guys, gals, whoever's watching. Initially, I could not get my OSD to work. Let's see here. Because the pinout for the VTX is for the VTX. This yellow was in the camera pin. So I switched the pins to RX and TX to work with the O3 air unit. Now, it may or may not work. Worst case scenario, I just swapped the yellow and the white pin and we're good. So we're gonna go ahead and power it up. Again, using the smoke stopper because I'm not comfortable with it yet. That's good. And let me see the OSD here in a moment. Okay, no OSD, which means I still need to switch those pins. All right, hopefully 3rd time's a charm. Let's see, plug it in. Ugh. Sorry guys, doing this with one arm. Come on. I hope I flipped the pins the right way. Or even flip them, because I wasn't sure if I actually moved the pins at all. Because I forgot. I should have taken a picture of it, and I did not. So, it's my bad. Okay. And still no dice. What the heck? Okay guys, after all that, I spent the last hour and a half trying to figure out why I could not get the OSD working with the O3 air unit. This is 4.4, not 4.3, and I totally forgot because I don't do it often, but I looked all online. It talks about you do not have to type in the CLI commands for the display port for it to work, and that is simply a drop-down menu in the configuration tab, I'm sorry, the ports tab, and you just hit MSP DisplayPort. I did that, went online, still wasn't working, went online, going crazy, and I totally forgot because I ran across this one person's video, which they don't show even on their site. You have to do one more step in the CLI command. So you do have to do CLI work. All you have to do when your DisplayPort is not working and you've hooked everything up correctly, you first hit the drop-down menu in DisplayPort and in the ports tab, and hit the MSP DisplayPort, save and reboot, go into your CLI and type this, set OSD DisplayPort MSP equals MSP, just like this. Once you do that, all of your OSD will show. So don't freak out like I did. Some of you already know this, but many of you don't. It's this one extra step that you must do in 4.4 and earlier, okay? So I've got all the OSD working. Now I'm going to go back into, continue the plan of installing the extended antennas. And what else? The antennas, and all we need from there, oh, the diversity receiver. And we'll button it up and we will turn it on and see what we get. All right, guys. Hope this is helping you like it's helping me. Like I said, you can do this stuff a few times, but you're gonna forget some steps and it's gonna drive you crazy, so. Okay guys, so we're back. Got the OSD working as I stated in the earlier video, and how I'm getting the antennas placed is I decided to just use a drill because I do not have the designing skills to create more TPU that will work with it. So what I've done is I've actually used the drill, this drill. First I use a smaller bit to make the hole. Let's see if I can flip this around. Sorry guys, it's getting hot in California over here. I have to use AC, so if it's loud, I apologize kind of. So I went ahead and I drilled a hole going this way through the back part because it's going to be very difficult to do it on the top down where you see that existing hole. So do it from the inside and make sure you tug on that wire that is the GPS line, otherwise you can cut that while you're drilling, and is able to go ahead and get one of the lollipops on the side. Well, actually I made a hole for both of them, so both of them will fit. And from there I will use EV6000 glue along with some heat glue to reinforce the antenna from the inside, and it's not going to come out. I've actually literally have used hot glue to mount my cameras on my Banggood, and it has not come out. And that's been 3 years running, so it will be solid. The antenna would break before it would fall out. All right, so let's get to that part and we will keep going. Now that we've almost completed our analog to digital DJI O3 air unit conversion, the last piece we will put together is the receiver. And I've chosen a diversity receiver from Radiomaster Boxer because that's what I have from Radiomaster. And I will probably connect it kind of in a mortal, okay, someone's at my driveway, mortal L kind of situation where I have an antenna here and the other one will be zip tied off to the side like this. And that should complete it. We will go ahead and bind the ELRS SP3, do a check on it, and next week we will do the actual flight test. Okay guys, we have put the crossfire, not crossfire, but the ELRS in, zip tied it, a little bit of heat glue. Heat glue is like magic for me. It's a cure-all for everything. And EV6000 I'll put on there as well, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, the antenna. So it's in the L shape. You've got the diversity going this way and the diversity going up this way. Went ahead and bound it with the ELRS, Express LRS sight. And so now let's go ahead and test it, make sure everything's spinning correctly, button it up, and we have successfully, or will have successfully, changed this analog to digital XL10 V6. Okay guys, moment of truth. Is the analog to digital a success? I'm gonna plug in now. Everything was connected properly in Betaflight. Okay, what the heck? Doing this with one hand, there we go. Okay, let's arm it. And should be props out. That's how I set it, so let's see. Ooh, oh my Lord. Woo, guys. It's going low right now just because I have a lithium ion pack on it. So let's see if everything is propped out. Props out there. Props out there. Props out there. Guys, I think we have success. Success, guys. There we go. Woohoo! Now let's shut it off and see if our fail-safe is working. Press this button. Yes. Woo-hoo-hoo! Woo, my goodness. So there you have it, guys. That is the conversion from analog to digital. Everything fit perfect the way I thought it would. And even the camera mount is perfect because it's rubberized. So it's gonna be butter smooth footage when you use Rocksteady on your O3 unit. You won't even have to use GyroFlow. And the O3 unit does fit perfectly underneath, as you'll see. Screw mounts perfectly in there. I have the ELRS mounted for diversity. We are ready to go for the first test. And as I mentioned in the video, make sure that you go to Pyrodrone or some other vendor to get the longer cord for our coaxial cable for the O3 unit. Otherwise, the standard one will not work and you'll be very upset. Oh, and what else? Yes, the MSP display. Remember to go to CLI and hit the MSP equals, or display port equals MSP, so that your OSD from the O3 unit works flawless with your DJI unit in Betaflight. And also how I drilled everything, I just made sure that the lollipops stay away from the props. So I just put a rubber band around here. You can use black or a different color, whatever, but for me, I want to make darn sure, even in flight, that these do not get clipped by those 10-inch props. Otherwise, it's bye-bye. All right, guys, that's it. This was a long one. And like I said, it was basically for those to figure out how to do the actual conversion. And you should already know how to do the actual work. I'm just showing you the steps that I took to do this, so that's easier for you and you don't have to go through the pitfalls I did. Anyway, that's it, guys. Have a great week. Flight next, Sky 2 Quaddy, sign out.